Good morning, everybody. It's on. Sorry if that was loud. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me and see me? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm a little early. Can you guys see me and hear me? I'm thinking yes, but I just want to make sure. Well, you can definitely see me. Thank you, Linda. Okay, everyone, let's get started a little early. I'm going to stay on for as long as I can today, probably like an hour to an hour and a half. And then I'll be back on later in the week. Let me go back up. What health issues should I be looking for? I should probably put my camera in the right place. Okay, there we go. What health issues should I be looking for? Instability, unforeseen circumstances, not wanting to be social. And the queen came out in reverse, unorganized. It feels like there's like this like chaos type energy to be aware of. This to me kind of feels like it's pointing more towards like mental emotional health and making sure that all is well there. And then the clarity from that will let you know if there's something else that needs to be focused on. But it feels like for some reason that's what's coming up as what needs to be addressed foremost. I've been prepared for a biopsy. What is my health outlook for 2024? Song from my guardian angel. Is this backwards? What is happening? Why is my whole thing backwards? 1 second. Oh, there we go. Okay. I guess I accidentally pushed a button. Okay, interesting. So everything backwards, accidentally pushed a button. There's something unseen. I almost want to say it's like something that you already had checked out needs to be rechecked out or ends up getting rechecked out. And it feels like something that you didn't really talk to a lot of people about or tell a lot of people about. My camera was backwards. Almost like something that you thought was in the clearness ends up getting reversed and it needs to be dealt with in a different way. I've been prepared for a biopsy. It almost feels like there may be some kind of additional test. Yeah, it's like you don't get all the answers and there's something additional that needs to be looked into is how it feels. It doesn't necessarily feel like an emergency, just something more of like a preventative care type energy. Is E the ex who's finally realizing his loss? I would say no. I would say it feels more like that person's distracted by something else. I don't think it's E. Is G the past person that wants to run into me, not with this car? I would say yes. Probably not for the great reasons, though. This is more like see if I still have access to you. See if I'm completely cut off from you. Yeah, like almost like a feeling of like trying to prove a point to myself, trying to see that I can still have an in for my own ego is kind of how that feels. I was S8 as a small child by my mother. Was I S8 as a small child by my mother's boyfriend? I have no memory, but I have deep feelings that this has happened to me. My mother's boyfriend. I don't know. I'm not picking up on if it necessarily got as far as that, but I definitely feel like there was grooming at the least. I don't really feel like your mother would know about this happening, though. It feels like something that was done beyond her sight, that she wasn't able to see. I do feel like there's something that's coming to the surface or trying to come to the surface. I feel like right now, what you're meant to be calling in to remember, if you would like to try and remember, would be anything relating to that grooming element. Like you could kind of meditate or try and channel, right, or draw into the energy of like, what do I need to remember about in which ways. I just want to say like you were stopped from leaving certain rooms, or like stopped from getting out of maybe like a tickle or something like that. Like there's something uncomfortable that you wanted to leave, couldn't leave. It feels like trying to remember that will help you get to where you need to be in that memory. Message from my spiritual guides with a token. A seashell with number 62. Magician and the world. It feels like you're getting some kind of opportunity, excuse me, to have a conversation that didn't go right the first time. Seashell here is making me think, when you like yell into the certain seashell and it gives you like feedback, or like you can hear the echo, almost like you had a conversation that felt like it fell on deaf ears before, and you're able to now approach the conversation in a different way that's more productive for the other person's like you spoke the right way before, but not in the way that they could hear you. It's like now you kind of have an in to know how they can better hear you. So you're getting a second chance at that conversation is what it feels like. Oh, that's why it was off. I'm trying to. Okay. Good morning. Any messages? Was it you that just moved? It feels like something right now that's really stressing you out about some kind of movement. Something you felt like fell short or was blocked or didn't happen the way you wanted it to. The situation is maturing. So it's like what didn't work out for you actually worked out for you, and you're about to start to see that. It feels like a frustration with like some kind of movement. Like you needed a little bit of redirection of energies, and some kind of blockage helped you to have to redirect. So whatever it is that's stressing you out is about to take a turn in your favor with some kind of movement. My brother is raising 2 difficult teenagers. Does our mom have any advice for him? It feels like finding the right person for them to talk to that they feel comfortable offering up their feelings and thoughts to. For some reason, I'm feeling like a coach or like a sports, maybe like a sports therapist or something, like almost like if there's a way to kind of have one person play 2 roles, or like find that comfort person. It's almost like if they together or even separately can have that emotional support from someone that they don't feel is going to report back. There's this feeling of like as they release what they're right now holding on to, they're going to start to make space for like more progress. It's just that they feel kind of disconnected from themselves because of how much they're holding in. So it kind of feels like, and I don't know if like sports in and of itself would also be important, but it feels like finding the right person to talk to is of key importance, but not like a family member, like someone on the outside that can be trusted in some way. Even if it's someone that like is paid but like doesn't like I'm paying you to speak to them, but they don't know that I'm paying you to speak to them so that they speak to you without feeling like it's like a therapy session type of thing. Something to that effect is kind of what I'm getting. Will Kieran pass his driving test before October? It feels like there's one thing that needs to be worked on that would be the only thing that would delay it past October. So with this image with like the pulling of the flag here, I don't know if this is like parallel parking or something. Whatever it is that's the difficult part needs to be worked on a little more. And if that's worked on a little bit more, he will be able to pass before October. If that's not worked on a little bit more, it may be like a little bit past October, whenever the next availability to schedule would be. Any messages for me today? There's a need to really pour into yourself right now as something comes to the surface. Guilt and shame. It feels like there's this energy of like you witnessing the depth of someone else's impact on you that you weren't seeing before because there was this feeling of avoidance. So it's like as you pour more into yourself, you're going to see exactly how heavy it was, what you were carrying. And it feels like it's going to be a tough but freeing realization. So it's like give yourself grace as this comes to the surface because you're going to need it. Make the choice to stay in love with who you're becoming is kind of how I'm feeling, because there's this energy of like something coming up that's supposed to be a catalyst for forward progress, but if you don't let yourself feel the feelings, it could cause stagnancy instead. Go to this list for a minute. Dreamt about kitten Teddy. Claria's message. Claria's message. Dreamt about kitten Teddy. There's a need to free yourself from the weight of some kind of choice that makes you question yourself, makes you doubt yourself. It's like you're questioning if you made the right choice or if you made the right choice at the right time. There's something about timing as well. So there's a need to release that. There's a need to know that you did what you had to do with the knowledge you had, and it was the best choice, even if now with different knowledge, it may look like there was different choices to be made. There wasn't then, if that makes sense. I somehow lost the straws to 20 plus Starbucks cups when I moved. Are these still at my mom's, if not possible location? Lack of forward movement or lack of movement. Okay, so this would be like the opposite of travel. So didn't leave where I started. This would be someone not taking it. So it doesn't feel like anyone moved it out, and it doesn't feel like you moved it out either. Five of Wands in reverse. Was there some energy of like, can you kind of get this stuff out of the way, or this stuff is in the way? Can we move it for the time being? It feels like it's with that stuff. Like you had to move some stuff quickly to get it out of the way. Maybe you were told it was in the way, or maybe you just thought it was in the way, but you had to get something out of the way. And it's like when you quickly move stuff that may have gotten separated. It doesn't feel like it left where the structure that it was in, just the room that it was in. Did T create account with my info? I don't feel like it was T. I feel like somebody did, but I don't feel like it was T. But I do feel like that happened, just not from that person. My mother's energy towards me. I'm going to do one more and then go back to the other list. kind of this feeling of like, I want to say something to convince you to see something from my perspective. There's something I feel like I can say to you because I feel like I'd rather you see it from my perspective and not your own. Yeah, 10 of Cups. In order to keep the peace. Yeah, justice. In order to keep the peace. I want to convince you to see something from my perspective because I feel like if you see it from your perspective, the peace will not be there or peace of mind won't be there. But it's almost like your perspective would be right. Keep you from recognizing how right you were about a certain situation, if that makes sense. So that nothing changes and you don't. I think I'd say overall, trying to kind of pull the wool over your eyes in some way so that you see something from her perspective and not your own. Because if you saw it from your own, you would know that you were right about something that someone doesn't want you to feel like you were right about. Did DW's love spell backfire? Does E leave? These two cards would indicate backfire, seeds being ripped up and some kind of false start. So you think you're going to get some kind of result and you don't. Does E leave? I don't feel like right now, not yet. This is someone being stuck. I almost feel like what happens is E ends up going back to an X, but just not yet. Almost like maybe that the love spell backfiring may be the person that it was about kind of ending up choosing an X over the other person instead of choosing the other person. That may be what the backfire part is. Right, let me go back to this list. Any messages from my brothers or my mom? Brothers. There's this feeling of like your brother's protecting you from something, but it being frustrating what was blocked. So it's like some kind of blockage was actually protection, and almost like you kind of know this, but at the same time you don't want to see what you were protected from because you don't want to see someone in a bad light. You're still trying to see the best in someone, so you're still feeling frustrated because of the blockage, but they want you to kind of like redirect that and recognize it as protection instead. Yeah, Temperance in reverse. It's like they want you to remember that you often see people at their highest self when they aren't willing to actually put in the work to be that. So it's a good thing, but also be mindful of it happening. Will I still have all my front top teeth for my son's wedding in October? I don't want to confidently say yes here. I feel like there's a chance. I feel like timing, 3, August, September, October, November. I feel like there's a chance you might not. And if you do, then I feel like something by November, it's between now and November, it feels like. So I guess I'd say be very careful because it's something that feels like it could happen at any time. Pull one of these actually. See if I can get like a time clarifier. Fall time. So yeah, kind of, well, by October, I feel like it's going to be close. I feel like I need to be very, very careful. Like an overabundance of caution is needed. Like whatever you think is too careful, go a little bit more careful. Hurricane season at my house. What can we know about hurricane season? It feels like there's some kind of issue that's going to need to be looked at here. Too much of something, anger, cutting away, going at it alone. Left hand. It feels like there's going to be some issue. There's going to be some issue that causes some kind of financial frustration. I don't know if it's like waiting for insurance to reimburse or if it's like something that's not covered. It feels more like having to wait for a reimbursement. But it does feel like there's at least one issue that's going to pop up this year that may be a little bit bigger than what you had to deal with in a previous season. Nothing that's like catastrophic, it doesn't feel, but like an issue that's a little more annoying than you're used to dealing with. Is Martin trying to tell me he could have been saved and Brian knows secrets considering his case? I don't feel like could have been saved, no. But almost like something could have been different but not been saved. Yes. Something for the family could have been handled differently. So not that he could have been saved, but something about the handling of the case or handling of the situation could have made it less painful for the family. And Brian knows secrets covering his case. I would say yes. Big yes. Shining the light on some kind of important communication or conversation specifically. Any messages from past family members? There's a need to listen to your intuition, even when your intuition is telling you something that you'd rather not listen to. Almost like if your intuition tells you something like, hey, don't do that, and you really want to do it, you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm just being anxious, or maybe that's just stress. It's your intuition in this case. There's a message here of you're going to feel it in your gut. Yeah, you're going to feel this like, hey, pay attention to me energy in your gut. And that's how you know it's your intuition. Do I need to see the doctor about my hernia? Yes. Some kind of information that you don't have that it'd be helpful to have. This is like her looking at herself in the reflection, and the world be representing someone from the outside giving you the right tools. It feels like there's something that can be made easier or alleviated. So there is a need to kind of look at what that could be, it feels like. Will I be going to another state for my career? It feels like not yet, not anytime soon. It almost feels like you may turn down an offer to do that for something that ends up being better. I feel like eventually, yes, but not in the time frame that you're thinking. If it does happen, it feels like it would be later, much later than what you're considering right now. Message and a token. I put them both in the same bag, and I don't know if I should have done that. A road with a tree. 103 is the number. 103. This is like some kind of something that you kind of put behind you as, okay, that's been settled, whatever. There's nothing I can do about that situation. You're about to kind of see something more clearly in terms of what was not said. So it's that quote that's like, you're hearing what was not said about a conversation in the past, and it's going to help open you up to move forward. So almost like something that happens now makes that click into place and make more sense. And that kind of frees you up to make forward progress here, because it's like some part of your psyche was stuck on this specific conversation, and this kind of unravels that for you. What is it about my energy that attracts haters? Because you don't have to convince other people that you are who you say you are. You don't have to try and offer proof of it. The proof is in the pudding type thing. Your results speak for themselves, even when they aren't as successful as you would have intended them to be. It's like the effort that you put into what you do speaks for itself, and they just don't have that. So it's almost like, yeah, it's almost like they want to witness it close up, and then it triggers them because they can't embody it. And then you become that monster. What is driving my sudden urgency to declutter and get rid of excess possessions and have everything remaining in complete order? This feeling of stagnancy, this feeling of kind of like being sick of your own ish type thing. It's like you are recognizing how your external world is a reflection of what's happening internally. And because there's been that clearing and decluttering internally, you want to now kind of experience that externally as well. Will I eventually move to Tennessee or North Carolina? Is there a third option? I feel like right now it's saying either things are still in processing stage where you're trying to figure out what you want, or there's a third option that may come into fruition somehow, some way. It feels like nothing's really set in stone with the moving yet. Message and a song. Right now, by fire from the gods, tear down these walls. Well, this can't go on forever. Something's got to give. How can I relate to a world that I feel is broken, to the minds that I feel won't open? You're getting some kind of lesson in realizing that you can't convince others to see things from the right perspective, or you can't you can't get other people to do the right thing, even if you're deserving of them doing right by you. And there's a need to kind of recognize where that's happening in your life and allow yourself to release that person or that situation. You were right about being seen for labor in August. It happened last night. I went into false labor. Anything I need to know? Oh boy. Okay. I feel like I suspected that to happen later in August. Oh, that would be a false start. This would be like, hurry up and get there, and then, oh crap, nothing's happening. I would say nothing's wrong. It just wasn't time yet. Is there something that you need to be doing more of for yourself? I don't know if it's like movement. I don't know if it's focus on like mental or emotional health. It feels like there's nothing wrong per se, but it feels like this last little bit of time is going to be very trying for you. So really focusing on making sure that you're good, and that if you're not, you're taking action. But it doesn't feel like anything physically is wrong here. Just the baby kind of playing jokes on you, I guess. token. Elfin, and I forget what that means. It was the ending of a story. Where did I put that book? Pretty sure it was the ending of a story. Where did I put that book? The ending of a story. Let me pull the second one just to be sure. A star. Shooting star and the ending of a story. Shooting star and the ending of a story. It feels like you've done all you can in some kind of situation that you're unable to get the other person to meet you on the same page. And it feels like a different approach is needed. A different approach is needed because the other person, if they were going to get on the same page with you, would have done it by now with the approach that you're taking. So a different approach is needed, it feels. Let me go to this list for a minute. It's my, oh, happy birthday. It's my birthday today. Any messages from my mom or other transitioned loved ones? Song. Lean on Me by Bill Withers is the song. It feels like you're having a bit of a rough day today. Almost like there's a lot on your plate emotionally as this year is coming to a close and a new one is beginning. I feel like she's guiding you to write, to like sit down and jot down either like a note, a letter, write a letter to yourself from this past year, from the version of you that you are stepping into right now for this upcoming year. There's this feeling of like passing the buck, or like, you know, that race where like you hold a baton and then you run and then you pass it to the other person and then that person runs. Almost like she's guiding you to do that, but like in reverse, like the version of you now kind of saying farewell to what you want to release. Almost like if she could give you a birthday present today, it would be freedom from the weight of what's been weighing you down. And that's how she knows that you can give it to yourself. So like the instruction coming from her will be the element that allows her to give you that present, because she doesn't want you to be in this energy anymore. There's some kind of fulfillment that is on the other side of releasing what was not fulfilling you. Get a token from her. Snake. Feels like a specific person. Writing a letter to yourself, forgiving yourself and setting yourself free from what you allowed to be around you or continue before you knew that it was this energy. So setting yourself free from what other people did to harm you by kind of like releasing yourself from the burden of it. If my passing has been difficult, I'm sending you joy and adaptability. And you are never alone with a lighthouse. Shining light on joy. And oh, the letter will help to shine light on joy and adaptability and show you that you're not alone in it. Happy birthday. Who was the pink petal I found on the floor from? An older gentleman who was not very nice with his words the last time the two of you spoke, almost like a peace offering, but this doesn't feel like a person. This feels like spiritual energy. Almost like the petal got there as some kind of reminder of that specific person. Feels like this person has passed. Oh. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Yeah, peace offering of some kind. All right. Is AS the person who's coming back from my past that only wants an open relationship, or is it someone else, multiple people? Mercury and Gatorade has people acting up. Is AS the person who's coming back from my past? I don't feel like that's the person that's coming back right now, but I do feel like if that person does come back, they haven't changed and they'd still likely want that open relationship because this would be representing a third party. Or is it someone else / multiple people? It feels like it's someone else. It feels like it's one person specifically. Almost like someone that you didn't necessarily have that bad of an ending with because the relationship had just died out so much that the two of you were just kind of like, okay, well, guess this is it because there's no other option. It feels like that's the person. And it feels like almost you are this person's walking karma. You get what you give. You signed up for it. It feels like because of how this person treated you, they are recognizing that you could have provided exactly what they were seeking, but they didn't want to see it because they were distracted by other things. It feels like that person, a specific person, but not the AS person. Messages from my guides. What do your guides want to say? The only way out is through. There's a need to face the wound that's coming to the surface here because it's causing you to feel depleted with energy imbalances. Solar plexus chakra, this feels like an inner child wound that's coming to the surface so that you can reignite the spark of your creativity. Almost like there's a creative project or a creative endeavor that you want to walk into. It feels like the opportunity to reparent by nurturing your inner child. So the inner child needs to be seen so that it can be re-nurtured. And it feels like there's some kind of event of that coming. Yeah. It feels like a trigger that is intended to actually heal you. You are so welcome. Let me pull one of these for you. You get tested the most when it's time for you to elevate. Don't break. There's something coming into alignment. Coming into alignment so that you can step forward onto the next chapter. Almost like one of those wheel things is what I'm seeing, like a gear that once it snaps into the right place, then there's like a place for the ball to go through. You know what I mean? Like in a little maze. That's what I'm saying. It's like the gear is being turned so that you can escape the one gear into the next gear. Last one, then I'm going to go to the other lists for now. Is there anything I need to be concerned about concerning both of my children vacationing in Los Angeles, California the next 4 days? There might be a little tension with the two of them for a minute, but other than that, no, it's not anything catastrophic or bad. It's just like maybe one wants to do something the other doesn't want to do, or vice versa, or like maybe one eats the other's food or something like that. I don't know, something minor. It feels like that's like will cause a little tension at one point, but it doesn't feel like anything you need to be concerned about now. Maybe one gets a little jealous of an experience the other gets to have, or maybe one gets a little jealous of how an experience happens for the other that doesn't happen for them. Like we experience the same event differently, but nothing of concern. All right, let me go back here. Are some people trying to push me out of what I enjoy doing? I would say there's like a turning of community because of some kind of connection. Like someone that is connected to you or that you're connected to is the cause of some kind of community kind of wanting to delay forward progress here. It does feel like there's a way to make this situation different, though. A different approach yields different results. So it's almost like a tension that can be easily alleviated. It doesn't feel like a permanent pushing back type thing, if that makes sense. Pistachio shells were found at Joanne's abandoned car and around her body when it was found in another location. Were they actually from the killer to throw off the investigation? Were they actually from the killer? So Ace of Cups would be a holy grail. So it's a very important factor in how the bigger picture looks. A gift or a package, taking action. Hand coming off the eye. You're seeing both sides of the coin here. New in reverse. Oh, there's wisdom here. Confession, making a deal. I would say yes. It feels like yes. It feels like I'm offering the right things so that people get veered off track just enough, and I make some kind of offer by taking action. And this is a lizard in his hand, so you're saying found at the abandoned cart and around her body, which I would assume is on the ground. So lizards burrow into the ground. I feel like that's a yes. I feel like you're onto something with that. Okay. Any messages from my mom? I have One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey playing and the mom card popping out. So I'm going to say yes. She has something to say. There's some kind of like, yes, go forward, viewing the situation in the way that you would explain it to her, if that makes sense. You know how like when you explain a situation to your mom, you kind of like make it mom ready, almost like if you look at a situation that you're facing now, but you handle it in the way that you would handle it if you were explaining it to your mom. It feels like there's an opportunity for advancement or an opportunity for alleviation of some kind of something that wasn't moving forward can start moving forward, or progress can start being made. A token from your mom. Oh, go team with number 23. If you could see it, that'd be even better. There. She's like your cheerleader for this. Message from my mother and a song. Happy Together by the Turtles. She sees the efforts that you're making in private to really pour into yourself in ways that you haven't in the past. And she knows that you would never like look for kudos or like thumbs up from anyone, but she wants to give it to you anyway, because she knows that it hasn't been easy for you. I'm in my own personal piece of paradise. Oh, it gives her peace of mind to see you caring for yourself in that way. Any luck if I play the lottery this week? Is there something else you could play, like bingo or something? I feel like something with like, so the Wheel of Fortune's here, but we have lack of fulfillment when it comes to the lottery. So there's something you could do to bring in something, but I don't feel like it's the lottery. For some reason, bingo is coming to mind, or like something similar to bingo, but lottery, I would say no. Anniversary of my dad's passing 40 years ago. When I'm 64 by the Beatles is the song. When I'm 64 by the Beatles. There's some kind of like, you've properly carried on a mindset that he did not recognize he instilled in you. This is like, I teach you, I don't even know an example. I teach you how to deal with this certain situation by how I dealt with a certain situation, but I didn't recognize that you picked up on that. But now I see you handling situations now in that way. And I'm proud that my name is being carried on that way, but also surprised because I didn't recognize that I really taught you that. I didn't see that unfolding, but I'm happy that it did. Yeah, blindfold. I didn't see it unfolding, but I'm happy that it did. I am not dead. I am standing right next to you. Well, that was direct. Okay. That's very direct. So he's right there with you on this anniversary. Oh, so that's a road. So he's right there with you all the time. Yeah, this is the after tarot. I also have the before, but it's a little bigger, and I like this one better. But I want to try and find the other one in this size. Should Angie change jobs? Should Angie change jobs? I would say yes. Either there's like a lid on Angie's potential in the current position, or there's some kind of upcoming change that Angie's not going to like that she doesn't see coming yet. Almost like there's not a way to really get what she deserves out of her current role or current salary or pay or something like that. It feels like not to leave though until the other job is found. So it's not like emergency jump ship, but it's like look for something else because there's something else better. I'm currently working 2 departments at the hospital. How is leadership in the kitchen feeling about me coming back? Almost like they're going to lose something to you or lose, how do I put that into words? Is it possible that they were like not that nice behind your back and now it's like, okay, now I got to kind of look stupid because I got to play nice once you're back? And that's like the loss. Like I'm losing my credibility because I'm kind of having to eat my words because I kind of acted all big and tough behind the scenes, but now I'm like, hey, how are you? Like trying to be cordial and it makes me look bad. How is Damien, new boss, feeling about me? Unsure what to expect. There's something that's like, I almost want to say there's something he's displeased about, but it doesn't feel like it's necessarily about you, just something that he might associate with you, like grouped in, if that makes sense. Like it's not you specifically. There's something he's displeased about in general, but it's also like umbrellaed over you in some way. It feels like something that's going to pass though with him, but with the other ones, it feels like there's some fakeness. Well, I have to attend a second interview, job offer from prison service, and when should I take it? I have to attend a second interview. Is it possible you have to go to something that's not an interview, but is like a training or a class, but like, or like a testy type thing, but like you have to pass it. So it's not an interview, but it's like interview-ish. Doesn't feel like another interview though. When? In a few weeks? Feels like there's some kind of word coming to you about what to expect in a few weeks. It might not happen in a few weeks, but it feels like there's information coming on what to expect. Should I take it? Yes, I feel like you should. I do feel like you should take it. Let me go back to here. We're going to close super chats for now because I'm probably going to get off in about 15, 20 minutes. Do a couple of these. Is there anything? Oh, no, I did that one. My mom's energy with me. My mom's energy with me. Some kind of avoidance of communication about something. Either I don't know how to discuss it or I don't want to discuss it with you, because it's going to lead to some kind of change behind the scenes that I'm not ready for. It feels like there's a difficult discussion that's being avoided here. Does E choose me? Kind of gives the energy of like, not when I had you because of the distraction of some sort. See how they're like back to back? But the Lovers is here in Four of Cups. So it's like, I would choose you if I felt like I was ready to make a choice, but I feel like I'm not ready to make a choice. Yeah. See how it's after tarot, so they're both on the card instead of just one of them, but it's in reverse. It's like if I was ready to make a choice, I'd choose you. But there's something about not the right time or not being ready to make a choice yet. How will Dan take my request to separate romantically, and will he remain in our lives as a friend? How will he take the request? How do I word it? You know how like when people don't get what they want, they kind of go into this like, okay, I'm going to make you feel like you made the wrong decision or you're making the wrong decision, but not by acting out, more of just like trying to make you think that you had it wrong by like making subtle changes in a big way so that you look at it and you're like, oh, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. It feels like that's kind of the reaction here from him. Will he remain in our lives as a friend? It feels like he's going to try and get back in until that doesn't work. And then it will kind of start to separate is what it feels like. So it does feel like initially, yes, but not to be a friend, more to try and see if there's still an in. A message and a song for this week. Go back to the other playlist. The Reckoning by Mothica, Mothica. Redirection is divine protection. There's some kind of offer or opportunity. No, it feels like, doesn't feel like opportunity. It feels like conversation that you don't want to have, that you end up not having, or like something that you could walk towards or walk away from, and for some reason you feel like walking away from is not the right thing, but you do anyway, and that's divine protection in work. So there's something you're not seeing that you're being protected from so that you can continue traveling forward. So just know this week that redirection is divine protection, and your guides are going to give you a sign about it. Almost like a sign so that you know what the thing is that you're being protected from when it's happening. Saturn. So it doesn't have to be Saturn specifically. It could be like something astrological that kind of is happening at the same time, or it could be like a symbol of some kind that you see as this is unfolding. Was the body wash bottle that fell in my shower while I was asleep from someone, and who? You asleep, someone knocking something over. Someone who's no longer with you. The message is going to make sense in retrospect after another piece happens. So it's like something that's going to unfold in the near future is going to have a component of something that reminds you of that in it. And it's going to have the whole message go together. Who is the message from? Someone that things did not end that great with. It feels like a message coming through from them that they're using different pieces of your day-to-day life in. So like an incoming experience or message or conversation is going to be another piece of the puzzle, and you're going to know it connects by something about the bottle falling, if that makes sense. I have the King of Cups here as the person's energy. Last one, then back to the other list. And again, super chats are going to be closed for now. Could the pink petal spiritual energy be my son? The pink petal spiritual energy be my son? Trying to get on the other side of the wall or the veil. No, I don't feel like it is. No, lack of communication. I don't feel like it's your son. I feel like it's a different energy. Not that your son's not communicating with you, but I feel like that's not the energy of that situation. I have a house here with number 15. Is that focusing? Anyway, it's a house. It's like a 2-story house with a garage and the number 15. Oh, hold on. I need to get a song. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding is the song. My 19-year-old grandson wants to be a cosmetic surgeon. Is he going to change course? What do his guides say? I do feel like he's going to change course. I feel like some kind of experience that he has with another person is going to be what makes him change course. So I don't know if this is someone being like, hey, I think you'd be really good at this, or like getting him involved in something else that ends up changing the course. It does feel like it's going to be a little while before that happens, though. But it feels like he's going to find exactly what's right for him as that course does begin to change. It doesn't feel like it's a drastic change, though. So I don't know what else. I don't know if it's like a regular surgeon instead of a cosmetic surgeon, or if it's like in a medical setting, just not that. But it feels like it's not a complete 180, but it's like a pivot of direction of some kind in the right way. Is Ken ready for a relationship with me? I would say yes, but there's some reason that he'd probably prefer to keep it a little bit more private initially, or like Yeah, no, it feels like keep it private initially. Why is that? Oh, he doesn't want other people, outside people, to interfere or ruin it. It does feel like he's ready, but almost like trying to make sure that nobody's going to jump in and interfere as it does go in that direction. Trying to see if there's anyone I did not get to. What do I need to know about my friendship with MS? Is it possible that MS is using you for something, or like maybe depending on you to as like a therapist of sorts, or like I would just say it doesn't feel like this person has necessarily like nefarious intentions, but it does feel like this person is someone who might be looking out for themselves at your expense unintentionally. So I would say be mindful about how much energy you're pouring into fixing this person's problems for them, because they may take advantage without really realizing it. Wondering how my mother is on the other side. Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney is the song. It feels like during her life review, there was a lot of taking her power back over other situations or people that hurt her or negatively affected her. So it feels like the message is I'm amazed at how it feels to be back in my power, to be back feeling complete. Like all the broken pieces have been restored is the message that I'm feeling from her. Remember me by the happy memories we created, and I'm surrounded by loving animals. I feel like there's someone that was very loyal to her in this lifetime that she's with now, and that feels to have some kind of significance to tell you. Books with number 93, like a stack of books, is the sign. I knew it was you that just moved. Okay, yeah, it's something with moving. Okay, something moving and work. So you moved work locations. Yeah, that's about to alleviate. Dentist made a mistake on cementing my tooth. He wants to redo with a new tooth on my expense. Can I make him fix the old one? I don't think so, no. Possibly if you get like a second opinion, perhaps there may be some like, okay, look at what this dentist said. Do you really want to like, but it feels like that would be out of your pocket too to get that and then not even be sure if it was going to work or not. He wants to redo with a new tooth on my expense. I feel like the best that could happen is maybe talking to him about either coming up with like a payment plan if you can't pay it all at once, or some kind of like, okay, at least give me a discount because you messed this up the first time type thing. But I don't feel like it's going to be a completely alleviated debt, unfortunately. Will we move soon? If so, how soon? I don't feel like soon. Yeah, I don't feel like soon. I feel like there's still an obstacle to overcome. Like you're starting to get things in place because this person's here. Typically, it's just the one person, so it's like you're making progress. But I wouldn't consider this soon, as in what you would hope for. Um, Special day is reversed. I feel like whatever time frame you have as like the latest desired date, it's a bit beyond that, it feels, because of an obstacle you're dealing with now or one that hasn't all the way come up yet. Am I in the right relationship? Am I in the right relationship? Okay, so right relationship as in where you're meant to be, yes, because there's a major lesson that you're going to be learning from this relationship, that everything is in place for you to learn it in this relationship. So like if you were to tomorrow say, okay, I'm going to walk away, you would need to build up in another relationship to be able to learn the lesson that you're going to learn from this relationship. So yes, right relationship, that doesn't mean it's going to be the one that lasts forever, but it does mean that it's something that's necessary for you to experience so that you can be with that forever person, if it's this person or if it's someone else. Oh, Arkansas is a third option to move. Okay. Look at Arkansas. I feel like Arkansas. Why is 3 of Swords here? I feel like that's not your first option, but I feel like that's the option that's going to be most sustainable or either most financially feasible or with the most opportunity or something to that effect. It feels like that's kind of the one I'm leaning towards. Hold on one second. Let me check on Gavin. Okay. My new boss is giving me the ick. He keeps saying he wants to show me around. I've worked there for 7 months. I feel extremely uncomfortable. Am I right for this feeling or overthinking? Oh, okay. So I said it's like something he's agitated with that's like a umbrella thing. Am I right for this feeling? I feel like he's someone who really likes to hear himself talk so he can gauge what the other person's reaction is going to be to what he says. I feel like this is almost like a mind game of sorts that he's playing. I feel like you're picking up on the fact that there's a different reason than just like the obvious, right? So like I want to walk you and show you around. It's not that he wants to walk you and show you around. You're picking up on the fact that okay, you want something else, and I feel like that something else is I like to hear myself talk so I can see how other people react and almost like fill in the blanks of what I already suspected. So like if he thinks someone is a certain way, he'll talk in such a way that gets them to react in a way that validates what he wanted to think about them. It feels like that's the mind game he's playing. I feel like we're living in scary times. At the end of August, me and friends will be in Vegas. Will it be safe? End of August in Vegas. I feel like because you're aware of your surroundings or that you have some kind of like safety plan in place or something, or maybe you will, or maybe if you don't, you need to get one. But it feels like because of how you handle yourselves, yes, you'll be safe. It doesn't feel like there's anything that's going to pull you into an issue because of your mindfulness. So just make sure that that mindfulness is still present. Will there be another hurricane in the Texas Gulf Coast between now and the end of September? What can we know about a hurricane in Texas between now and the end of September? I feel like yes. I have a confirmation on time. August. So in a few months was reversed and August on the bottom of the deck. You said between now and the end of September. August is now. I feel like that was just a confirmation of, yes, I do feel like it's something that could kind of happen at any time. Do my spirit guides have a message for me? Whoever or whatever was just released or almost like a quick cut from your life, it was for your benefit. There's something that is aligning, all the pieces are aligning, but something that did not vibrationally match what's aligning had to be removed so that you could continue to walk forward. You have balanced out what was previously suppressed or repressed in terms of emotions, and it's what's allowed all the pieces to start to fall into place. So whatever falls out of your life, let it. It's actually for your benefit, even if it's painful momentarily. Any advice from my guides? Advice from my guides. There's planning behind the scenes that is needed right now, almost like the blueprint of something or like the planning of something. There's a need to spend a lot of time, or not a lot of time, but more time on it, because there's this opportunity to hit the ground running that's coming, but you need to have the blueprint or whatever that is ready to go with you. Like have it ready to go, almost like a have your bags packed type energy, but something, it feels like career or like passion project related. My daughter is very sensitive. She's 7 and has meltdowns at nighttime where she cries hard but doesn't know why. How can I help her? What does she need from me? How can I help her? What does she need from me? It feels like this is a bit of like a past life thing that's coming through, and kind of manifesting into, death coming out. Almost like she's experiencing the heaviness of energies around her, but not your energies. It's like the energy of the world, or like a light worker type energy is really what I'm getting. It feels like, for some reason, like sound healing, maybe even looking into like parasite heavy metal cleanse. It feels like a higher evolved soul having trouble grounding into the denser energies of what's going on in the world. Almost like if she's feeling feelings, but those feelings are so beyond her current level of comprehension, because what she's picking up on is like a collective heaviness. So it feels like things like sound healing or cleanses. It doesn't feel like anything's medically wrong. It doesn't feel like anything is like off at home. It just feels like I'm heavy because of everything going on, like heavy emotionally and spiritually because of everything going on in the world. So it feels like just really paying attention to different spiritual healing modalities and things to that effect, specifically to like ease her into sleep instead of like just having her go from awake to asleep. There's almost like a sleep anxiety that I'm kind of feeling as well. So kind of finding a way to ease into that. Let me finish the ones on this list and then finish up on the other list. Will I ever win substantial money playing lottery? I don't feel like that. No. I feel like there's a need to change strategies. So like maybe not lottery, maybe, I don't know, like a different type of investment, or a different type of like quick turnaround, something that could be like sold or created or something. For some reason, I'm feeling like, is there something that you do or know about that you could create like a digital booklet for? It feels like something more like that other than like a game of chance. And I feel like it's because there's something you're meant to offer that's where you'll get the quicker turnaround from, if that makes sense. Thank you for becoming a member. You'll never be placed in a storm you can't navigate yourself out of. The universe doesn't want you to break down, it wants you to break free. So there's some feeling of like the light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to start to see how to move through an obstacle that's been very persistent for you. Will I ever be financially stable? Maybe lottery. I don't feel like lottery is going to be the answer here. I feel like it's just kind of a waste of money. It is what I'm getting from these cards, like throwing money out, not getting a victory, end up kind of dumping out what I had or have the money and I dump it out. Will I ever be financially stable? It feels like there's action needed. Ten of Pentacles is here on the table, so it's in the energy technically, but there's action needed that's different than what action you're taking now. So kind of thinking outside of the box, it feels like, in terms of different ways to make money that is like more earned and less luck or chance. I've been working on my chakras to help me identify my specific gift. Which chakra do I need to concentrate on? Self-mastery, the solar plexus chakra. So like now that you've focused on clearing and aligning your chakras, now it's the mastery of that. Now it's how do I use that? And with the solar plexus chakra, it's creativity. It's almost like innocence in a way of like, I'm seeing myself healed, or I'm seeing myself not broken, and what can I do now that I see myself from that light? So focusing on the solar plexus chakra. Annette, new member, thank you. One of these. Be permanently unavailable to anyone who thought you were an option. You're taking back your power, and sometimes people will want to see if they can still get a foot in the door to almost like test your growth. Don't even give that the time of day or energy. Any messages for me from a loved one who is on the other side? I'm going to stay on for about 5 more minutes, then I have to hop off. Justice is coming through here. Someone on the other side. There's this message of you didn't get justice, but they're still getting karma. Not the person on the other side. The person on the other side is saying to you, it's frustrating to you to feel like you didn't get justice for the situation, but just know that that person is getting karma. And it's almost like that karma is going to be worse than what the justice could be. Yeah, it's like justice could only go so far, but karma can be more persistent. It feels like there's this energy of even if you feel like you still didn't get closure from this, know that it's being taken care of behind the scenes. Happiness lies within the memories we create it, never forget. And there's the rainbow. So it's like the pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow is that all is being made right behind the scenes, even if you can't see it yet. Oh, yes. Thank you, everyone, for 50K. I am putting together a little surprise raffle thing. What do I want to tell you about it? It's in a shadow box, but that's all I'm going to say for right now. I will post about that probably later today or tomorrow. We didn't get our settlement. I'm shocked. Do I let it rest? I'm afraid we can't move now. Do I let it rest? I don't know what the option would be if you didn't let it rest, but I feel like you're not supposed to let it rest yet. So they're like looking at each other here. Is there something you haven't tried yet that could be tried? I don't know if it's like to adjust the decision that's already made, or it just feels like it's not something that's meant to be given up on quite yet. I'm afraid we can't move now. I would say right now it doesn't feel like that's the most feasible option. It feels like eventually yes, but there's something that needs to be either shifted now in terms of plan, or like the whole not giving up on it quite yet thing. Maybe that plays a factor. But I feel like not to let it rest yet. And I feel like the moving may either be delayed or needs to be restructured to make it more financially feasible, or like reduce some kind of burden of payment of something. Something needs to be made less to make it still doable now, or there needs to be a waiting period. Will my grandson be able to buy the house he will be looking at, and possibly when? I feel like there's something better. I don't know if it's that he's just not going to get that one, or if it's I end up finding something better. What's a time period of significance here? I have July. So being that July just passed, it feels like a little under a year would be the time for within a year, it feels like. Will we win our grandparent visitation case? Will we win our grandparent visitation case? I have Flying Without Wings by Ruben Studdard playing. Will we win? This is weird. I feel like you're going to get something, but not exactly everything that you wanted, but it's almost like what you do get opens the door for wiggle room of some sort. Like I'm almost wondering if there's some push for like supervision of visits, but I don't feel like that's it. I feel like there's something that you're not all the way happy with, but you do get some kind of access. But it's almost like then there's additional things that could be pushed towards. It feels like there's a delay in getting more of what you want, but there's something that does go in your favor initially. Oh, perfect. Okay, so sound therapy. I was thinking a different thing, and then I think I lost it. What was the other one? Crap, what was it? Sound therapy. I lost it. Maybe some kind of, just look at like different spiritual therapies similar to sound therapy. I feel like something will come up for you. I can't remember what it was. If I remember, I'll say it though. Am I going to be able to retire early? Is it possible you'll have the opportunity to and then will not do it because of some kind of like, if I stay a little bit longer, then I get this that's better? It feels like that. It almost feels like the options in your hands, and either you don't do it as early as you initially would have expected yourself to, or you don't do it early but you had the option to. It feels like that, one or the other. So not as early as the earliest you may be thinking, but it feels like for good reason, if that makes sense. Will my investments provide for retirement? Will my investments provide for retirement? Not fully. I mean, will they provide to some extent? It feels like yes, but not fully, not as much as you need. At least not as they stand right now. It feels like maybe shuffling things around or looking at ways to, increase a percentage of something, like a higher yield investment something profile. It feels like there's a change that could be made that would make it a bigger percentage. It feels like right now you're not at the full percentage of what you'd be comfortable with it providing for. Deborah, I don't see. Oh, there's one. Got it. Message from my spirit team. You're about to see that you were right about something that you suspected going on around you. There's this feeling of like you having a suspicion, for some reason needing to kind of let it go or continue moving forward, and now starting to see that you were right and why you had to let it go and move forward. It's like things really making sense. You avoided some kind of drama by staying in the mode of observer, and it allowed you to stay in a high enough vibration to not be drugged down into someone else's sinking ship. And you're about to see that in some way. I'm going to do 2 more, and then I have to go make Gavin some lunch. I am going to hop on probably Friday. Any messages from my dad? Get a song. That's Life by Frank Sinatra. You're riding high in April, shot down in May, but I know I'm going to change that tune when I'm back on top in June. What didn't work out for you really worked out for you. There's this feeling here of like you seeing the truth of who you are or your intentions by what you were able to push through, and other people not being able to deny that either. This is the energy of like your results or your choices speak for your character in a very positive way. There's a feeling of like, I'm proud of you for pushing through the days that you didn't think you were going to make it through. And once you have other people seeing you pick yourself back up, just remember who was not there for you when you were at your lowest, and be very cautious about how you give your energy out, because you're going to start to see your energy as valuable as your dad does. I'm with the rest of the family. Oh, that's what I said. I'm very proud of you. Keep pushing through. He said what he said. All right, last one, and then I have to hop off. Is love for me in this lifetime or ever? You're going to have a relationship with someone that provides value. So you're going to have a relationship with someone that starts as a either like a friendship or like a grounding factor. And as you see your value through your interactions with the other person, it's something that could turn into love. So it's like there's a person coming that's going to show you how important it is to love yourself. And as that comes into play, you're going to start to have the opportunity to create a love relationship with that person as you both choose to still love yourself, if that makes sense. All right, everyone, I have to hop off. Let me do Christine's really quick that just came through. Was Dave my soulmate, and do we always find each other in previous lives? I feel like the way that you're referring to soulmate is no, not necessarily. I feel like there's karma between the two of you that's being cleared. Like certain lessons that each of you really need, that you are continuing to seek and find each other until those lessons are completed, because it's like you put one brick on top of the other and you've already built this big wall. To restart with another person would be rebuilding that whole wall. So it feels like it's more of like karma between the two of you that's being cleared and healed. Oh yeah, look at that. It's a little heart, but it's like eyes are closed and it's under the water. So it's like, and 49, it's like 49 would be 51, an uneven percentage. It's not 50-50. You're never meant to be fully on the same page, because you're always meant to be helping each other evolve and continue to grow through that lesson. If I Didn't Have You by Thompson Square is playing. That may be significant. All right, everyone. I'm going to try and do the Sebastian video tomorrow. I did it before, and that's why I ended up buying a new camera, because the whole thing glitched the entire time and you couldn't see anything that I was saying or doing. So I'm going to try and do that either today or tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed. The 50K thing that I'm making, I will make a video for that soon. That's all I have to go. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and thank you to my mods.